is going on, everybody? I got my my dance on like Zemo from the Winter Soldier. You got the little dance going on. I hope y'all are doing well. Let me check the audio real quick. My dance on. All right, there we go. Hope y'all are doing well. Still didn't put the new battery in for this other camera, so we're back. Still on the Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. Hope y'all are doing well. Thank y'all for who were here on the first one earlier today. They said they wanted me to have another one, so that's why we're here doing another one, answering some questions today. It's been a while since I've been able to sit down and not be somewhere driving around on a Friday, which is a good thing. On a side note, I know Monty, you out there in the chat, dude. Running a company is serious. I mean, I'm sitting here like I just recently moved over to Bench to handle the bookkeeping because that's not one of my strengths. And then going from QuickBooks over to FreshBooks and trying to migrate everything. My bank got bought out, so I got to transfer everything over to a different booking bank account. It's a lot. But anyway, that's not what y'all here for. Again, you're here for the Q&As where we answer some of y'all's questions and trying to help y'all get up to speed with as best as we possibly can. I don't know everything, folks. But we say the secret for IT stuff is IT people don't know more than you. We just broke stuff more than anybody else, and we kind of learned how to figure out the stuff that we broke. And that's kind of like where we're here. I just want to try and share with you some of the stuff I know from media ministry because I'm constantly learning new stuff every day, just like all of y'all. And I just want to make y'all's journey just a little bit simpler. So if you like what we're doing here, I would really appreciate if you go ahead and hit that like, hit the subscribe button, and click that bell, that way you get notified when we come out with other videos like this, as well as, hey, share these videos with other people. Monty does kind of the same stuff I do as well, too. Hit him up. Hit up his channel. Subscribe to him. Hey, we're here to try and help y'all broaden and strengthen your media ministry for the purpose of the real purpose. The real thing is the real thing. The main thing is the main thing. That's what we're here about. So let's go ahead and holler. Oh, also, we do have a roundtable this Sunday that is on Facebook. Please go ahead. If you're not, go ahead and look up Modern Media Ministry Made Easy. All you got to do is answer 3 questions and don't live stream inside the group, and you'll be able to come in, and we have that information to join the roundtable. We have Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern. We have people from all over the world. We sit together and talk, and you're talking with like-minded people, and I hit the wrong button. I think that's enough blabbing. Let's see who is up in here. Anthony, you back again? What's up? T-Pocket, what's going on? Sarah Lynn is here again. Chasen Brown, excuse me if I pronounce it wrong. Santerre, sorry if I still pronounce that wrong. You were here on the first one. Yep, we're here again. Monty, like I said. Stephen Hawkins, hello. Sister Regina Ross, hello. Mr. Clarence, hello. Mousy, hello. Your camera that we ordered that you won, actually 2 people won. They actually, let me put it this way. You actually won, but somebody else emailed me before you, but they went to the wrong email address. So I'm probably going to honor both of them. So we'll figure that out. The camera was supposed to be delivered today, and I'm looking at it right now. It said it's supposed to be delivered between 5:30 and 8:30. But knowing how the stuff is here, it looks like it's going to rain. So for whatever reason, even though our mailroom is covered, sometimes Amazon just doesn't deliver. So I don't know. So hopefully we'll get there. Mike, what's going on? MA16 version 3, hello. Trinique 22, hello. Darius, hello. Violet, hello. T. Miller, what's up? John, hello. Everybody. So, hello, folks. I'm going to try and go as long as possible. I don't know if I'm going to last for a full hour, but hey, it all depends on y'all. Actually, Steven, New Jersey, I'm actually talking with D. I'm supposed to be coming to New Jersey in about 2 weeks to do an on-site up there. And I need to log into the right account so I can see my calendar. me see what day I'm supposed to be up there. I'm actually supposed to be up there the 24th in New Jersey at Kings Highway Faith Fellowship. That's where I'm supposed to be at. I don't, let me see the exact city that is real quick. That is in Atlantic Highlands, New Jersey. So I'm supposed to be up there on the 24th. I'm probably going to be up there, get up there Monday, hang out, and oh, nah. Just realized my daughter has her first cheerleading event on the 28th, so I can't keep her away from her practice on that day. So I'm gonna be going up solo. I gotta let D know that. That's too much information for y'all. But anyway, let's jump over here and see what questions y'all got for me, folks, so I can hopefully help y'all out a little bit. Oh, but while I'm stalling, let me go ahead and show you the same stuff that we did last time around. And where's my chat message? Oh, there it is. Let me slide this over here so I can see what y'all are saying. And let me let y'all know we got a bunch of product reviews that are coming down the pipe. So let's go ahead and just talk about, I don't guess it's not really tech deals. So I don't know. Let me just jump over here so I can show you what we got going on here. So if we bring up our stuff here, we are getting our YOLO live is sending me their YOLO Box Pro that has some more inputs, 4 inputs. We're going to be doing a product review of that pretty soon. You never know. That might be another giveaway. It most likely will be. And I'm hitting the wrong buttons here. Hold on. I tried to hit the lower right and I hit the wrong button. But anyway, we got that coming up as a product review. We also have the, let me turn this off completely. We're having the Hollyland Lark 150 product review. This is a dual receiver, dual mic, wireless mic setup. Kind of in the same competition as the Rode Wireless Go 2. And instead of, I already have a Rode Wireless and I wanted to try something different. So we're going to check that out. Plus, this is going to be some gear from when we go to NAB. I need a mic on me and I have another mic for when I'm interviewing other people. So we're not sharing the same thing. So we're going to be talking about that. We also have later this month going to be reviewing the Sony ZV-E10. This is the updated model of the ZV-1 that I've been using most of the time on when I'm blogging and stuff like that, or when I'm out and doing on-sites and stuff like that. If you see anything in 4K, that's where that camera is being used. And like I promised, folks, we got another one that we're really excited about reviewing pretty soon whenever it comes in. That is the Blackmagic Studio Camera 4K Plus. This is the HDMI only version. I'm going to see if I can get it switched out with the Pro, but you never know. That's the stuff that's coming down the pipe. Really excited about all that cool stuff. Let me know down in the chat which one you're excited about. There's a bunch of other products I want to look into, but we'll see. We're going to take it a bit at a time. MA16 version 3 wants to know, I'm assuming the Pi bridges are still working. Last time I checked, yes, they were. At Spring Creek, we're going to be using them on Sunday. I'm going to be there to help them with that. So, yep, we're excited about that one. That's page 2. Let's go to page 3. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. A lot of people, like I said, if we had it to do again, yes, I would probably use the streaming bridges, but the streaming bridges only allow ATEMs to talk to them. With the Raspberry Pis, anything can stream to it, and it's all local, so that's really cool. Yeah, so let's see. Stevie, yes, we're getting a double dose. Yes, we are. Thank you also for the pre-production videos. I've been updating my stuff now that I have a little bit more time. We're changing up a lot of stuff. I'm back on my Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. Our top-down shot is the Cinema Camera Micro that you see right there for my top-down shots from unboxings and stuff like that. We got a new lens that is coming in that can work for any of these cameras, but it's specifically going to be for the studio camera. So really excited about the stuff. Like, I want to keep this stuff reasonable, but just let y'all know, yes, start with what you got. But when you have the ability to move up, when people start seeing the vision of what the media ministry can do, you know, more funds come available. And I want to show not the ridiculous prices yet, you know, unless we get to that point. I mean, I don't like suggesting to y'all, hey, get this camera. It's $5,000 by itself. I don't think that's reasonable, because that's not where I started. I want to be careful not saying, never say never, but I don't plan on getting to that point where I'm recommending, hey, you want this to work? You want a great church van? You need to get this Lamborghini that costs at $7.2 billion conzillion dollars. No, I don't want to be that type of person. I like to give you stuff that's practical, DIY, that's affordable, because I already know that a lot of times we're still fighting people who do understand that they don't want to give the media ministry a budget. So I want to give y'all options on what's reasonable to get your stuff done, make it look professional, but it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. That's how we started. That's how we're staying. Sarah Lynn, this was actually a follow-up question to our last session, was how would I improve the stream quality that's sent to Facebook and YouTube? Some have said the quality is not as good as some out there. Well, that all depends on how much of a bit rate that you send to Facebook. Like right now, I was going to say Vimeo, but vMix is sending, I'm sending to vMix 4,000 kilobits a second. That's what I'm sending to them. Now, I could send 10,000, and that would make the image quality look a lot better, but I have it at that rate because Comcast, I don't trust. I keep it at something I know reliably send a signal there, but your bit rate, how much data goes into each image, can improve the way it looks. Another way is shoot on a 4K camera, and a 4K camera sensor is always going to be cropped down to 1080p. Is always going to look better than just a 1080p. That's how you can tell the difference in between some of the shots when I'm using the ZV-1, or when I'm using the Pocket Cinema camera, or when I'm using my Sony camcorder that is in 4K as well. So, you know, it all depends where you're coming from. But that's one thing I would say. T-Pocket wants to know, are me and Monty in the same state? Yes, we are both in Virginia. He is in Northern Virginia, and I'm in the center of Virginia, Richmond. Let's see. What page are we on? John, this is your first time? Yes. This session is for you to throw whatever questions that you want, and we would do our best to answer them. And going to the giveaway, you said the other person can have it. No, we're just going to get one to both of y'all. How about that? We'll do that. You know what? Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I said that it came in the middle of the live stream. And the funny thing, I don't know if my history shows up, but I was actually looking at that exact pair of headsets, because I have one. I have two of them. They just weren't charged, and I couldn't find it, and I found it before I went back up to Annapolis the other day. But when I saw that, I was like, man, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. At first, I was like, is my search history in Amazon public or something? But yes, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And now it comes with two headsets that headlights that you blessed me with, so maybe I can get an intern to climb up in the attic. No, I'm not going to do that, because if I have an attic, I got to pay insurance. I ain't trying to do that. Not yet. We'll get to that. Let's see. What other comments we got up in here? Hi, what would you recommend for a single camera setup? Camera plus lens, camcorder, or PTZ? 25 feet from pulpit, low light, and small budget. Thanks. I would go with a camcorder, because that would get rid of having to buy a lens with the added expense. That would also get rid of a PTZ, because with a PTZ, to really control it, you need a joystick, and that's going to add at least $170 up to $500 on top of that, the wiring and everything like that. I would go with a camcorder. with that. This camcorder over here is the Sony AX53, I believe. That goes for $800. I got it when it was way more than that. But, you can look at maybe a Canon G21 or something like that. Very, very, very good camcorders and very good at low light as well, too. That is my suggestion. T. Miller here. I have a Sony Handycam 9.2. How do I get it to show on OBS? Yes, I do have a capture cord. Okay, but what capture card are you using? Because you need something to bring that in. I have these ones I did a review. They're like $9. Yeah, these kind of capture devices, I got a bunch of them. When I got them originally, it was like $13. See, there's no autofocus on this, the Blackmagic. That's the other reason I don't. You got to get used to these. But anyway, this one is going for like $9. You can get something like this and hook it up. You said capture cord, but you need a capture card or some type of device. Let me know unless I'm just misinterpreting what you said. Exclusive Games and Co. Hello. So back to Team Miller saying you followed the video, but you're still not showing. I need to know full in detail what other stuff you're using in your setup so I can see what you're going with. Thank you so much, Exclusively Games and Co. Really appreciate it. Monty. From remote desktop extension, I'm thinking about setting this up to remotely handle running my church's midweek service. What's your experience with it? It's been really good. I'm having an issue right now because we had a storm, and it seems like everything at my church is shut down. So I might need to go down there and turn everything on just to make sure. It looks like everything was actually shut off 2 days ago because I guess it was a storm and the power must have shut down. Because if I go here to my screen, these are all of my remote sessions, and the only computers on are my other one, Fifth Street Baptist at my hometown, and my mom's computer. Those are the only one that's on. So it seems like power knocked out all the rest of them. But they're really straightforward, no issue, and more importantly, it doesn't cost anything. So highly, highly endorse those. Rodney says he loves the YOLO. Awesome. I think it's a really good piece of kit, too, because it has so much stuff combined. And really looking forward to seeing what that is. I've actually gotten 2 of them, and we've blessed 2 separate ministries with it. And you never know. Might do the same thing with this one. Team RHO. Actually, first time I actually got a chance to see him when he was at our e-missionary conference, which you can still register for. Even though the conference is over, you can register and get all 37 hours of the teaching from a lot of people. Monty was teaching on here, Otis. It was a bunch of people who've been here. You can still register for that. That's $75. You still have access to everything. Obviously, it's not live, but you can get all the roundtables, all of the discussions, everything that we have on there. Link should be down below. If not, is emissionaryconference.com, where you can go for that. J Equity Group. Can I use an app version of Stream Deck to use with Worship Extreme? I would say no. Worship Extreme does not have, the way the Stream Deck does, it sends commands that are keystrokes pretty much to whatever application, or a certain application is written specifically for it. So like OBS. OBS can use it even if OBS is not in focus on your computer, because you can just send the commands and it's talking directly to the application layer of that program. Worship Extreme, to my knowledge, does not have any application specific commands. It may have shortcuts, but those are global shortcuts like Control C, Control V, Command C. All of those are global commands that are only going to be applicable to the application that's in front. So even if you set it up, if Worship Extreme isn't on the forefront, those commands are gonna those commands are gonna go to whatever program happen to be present. So unfortunately, no, not directly. You cannot. Papa Midnight, have you ever thought about not using the Pi and just go RTMP from the cloud? Yes, I have thought about that. I actually have set this up before with AWS services and things like that. That's just a bit much, I think, for people who I'm not going to be there all the time to do. And this was just, I just needed something local. I didn't have to worry about security or nothing like that for right now. And this was just, how can I get something working within, I got 3 days to get it working. So, but yes, I have done that back in the day. Otis, late to the party. Man, you are not late. You are right on time. Sarah Lynn was saying, what's a great wireless lavalier for our pastor? We have the X32 and the ATEM Mini Pro. Honestly, the Rode Wireless Go. Get something like this here. My stuff is all scratched up. What is that? Anyway, I would get something like this. This is what actually Pastor Cooper is using at Spring Creek. Has a lavalier. This is, all he has to do is turn it on. It's connected to a, well, they're using a Midas, but each connected the same way. The only thing you need to do is get this little XLR extension that can plug right back into whatever channel you decide to use, and then you just mute the channel, and it works great. It'll last for 8 hours, so that's more than long enough unless you have a really, really long service. That's what I use, and there's very little stuff that anybody has to touch. You can have a lavalier mic that I have right here. That'll just clip on. This is normally what I use when I'm walking around and moving in here when I'm doing shots, videos and stuff like that. Works great, and I've used it, suggested it to a couple ministries, and they've been very happy with that. Back to MA16 version 3 was saying, I am looking into prepping a similar setup, and I understand the technical aspects, but my brain breaks when I actually try to think about the actual connections. Got a diagram to help visualize it. Now, I'm sorry, it was a bunch of messages. Which one is that reference to? Is it with the RTMP stuff or what? Because most of the time I do make a design for these type of things. Let me know and I can show you that. G. Albert, have you ever used SDI scan converter to access and manage any Blackmagic TV Studio HD? I'm asking because I was having some issues loading the ATEM controller with my MacBook. An SDI scan converter? Do you have a reference or a link to one? Because that way I'm not thinking of the wrong thing. Yeah. How did you grab one of the sweet EA cameras? Which unless I'm thinking wrong, which cameras are you talking about? Because all those other ones, they haven't came in yet. If you're talking about the ones I showed at the beginning, they haven't came in yet. Yeah, we've been talking about it. We just got to get the calendars to align, and we can see what we can do. MA16 wants to know, what testing equipment do you recommend for testing SDI cables? To be quite honest, what I do is the same type of tester. The same type of tester that I use has an extension that can test RJ45s as well as coax. And I'm trying to find the exact one. I just actually got the extender on there to test. And here it is. I'll take this down. Page number 4. This is the tester that I use. And it comes with, RJ45 tester. It has these other extensions here that you can test coax and stuff like that. And, because SDI cables is nothing but RG6. So what I ended up getting is a F connector to BNC. I got something like this and just screwed this onto my tester, and that's how I'm able to test and verify my cables. Really simple. You know, you could go with something fancy, or this tester was $40, and then the adapters were $5. So that's what I use. Otis says, get a hard hat for the attic. Dude, you know how many times I've stood up and got nicked with a nail coming through the shingles? Yeah, way too many times. But I need to get one. T-Pocket was saying, how do I feel about the Fieldware Live Pro switcher? I mean, I thought it was great. I did a review on it. I liked it that it had that screen. I didn't like it that a lot of effects like downstream keyers or chroma keying and stuff like that wasn't built in. I didn't like that. But besides that, I thought it was a very good start. And I'm sorry, I actually missed a comment here. What is your source for SMT AV PTZ, and how long do you have to wait for delivery? Honestly, my source was Amazon. I mean, most of the time I got it within like 3 or 4 days. But that was pretty much it. I wish I had a direct contact. I had a contact with AV Cans directly, and then Zigo sent me one directly. So did PTZ Optics and Ada Imaging. All the rest of them I just bought from Amazon. I didn't have a direct point of contact for those. So back to Sarah Lynn. My mic is in the way. So you can stream 4K and 1080p at the same time, meaning if you had one camera that had 4K and the other 1080p, so it would stream to Facebook or YouTube and they drop it down. No, you wouldn't. Whatever your stream is, it's going to be whatever that signal is. Like right now, my ATEM can only accept 1080p, but both of my cameras are 4K and they scale down to 1080p. The switcher is doing that, but it only sends out 1080p. It doesn't jump from 1080p to 4K and back and forth. If you see that, that's more like Facebook or YouTube, mainly YouTube, compensating for your bandwidth on what it can be seen. That's where the switching comes from, not that you can do different type of things. T-Pocket is asking for suggestions for affordable camcorders. Honestly, it has not changed because I haven't seen anything really new out there. It's still the Canon R800 for entry level, and then maybe high end, like right under $1,000 or right at $1,000 is the Canon G50. In between is kind of hit or miss. I used to do a lot of the Panasonic V770 right there, which is still a good camera, but honestly, that camera right now is going for almost like $200 shy of a G50. And unless you're really that tight, I would say see if you can come up with the extra 200 and go for the G50. That would give you a 4K camera, better autofocus, better tracking, better color science, everything. So it's kind of hit or miss in between because you're going from a camera that's $215 and then the next one up like the V770 used to go for $500, but because of shortages and chips and all this other stuff like that, that price has gone really, really high. And I just, in good conscience, if I know that the G50 is a better camera, I would never recommend anybody get the V770 that's $100 to $200 less than a Canon G50. Rodney wants to know, is it possible to use the OBS Bot Tiny as a camera? Honestly, I would defer that to Monty because I think, Monty, you got one of those. I wanted to dabble with one of those, me personally, but then at the time, I saw the price and I'm like, I'm not paying that for that. So I don't know. I think that's only a USB camera. So I mean, if you're going directly into a vMix or OBS, yes, you could use it. I'm not sure of the quality of how that would look out. But anybody else that's using that, please let me know. I have not. Steven. Oh, thanks for letting me know about the e-missionary. Hey, you're welcome. Don, another one of our teachers, they had him, Jaleel, and Mike had a great presentation on behind the scenes. Awesome. Awesome. Hey, the $75 is worth that right there, to be quite honest. But there was a lot of other stuff. Reverend Arthur Leak talked about grant writing opportunities to help you get some money to get some equipment for your church. We had Mrs. Rachel Cummings teaching about succession planning. We had generational specific ministry by Josh. I mean, we had a ton of stuff, y'all. And I'm not just saying that to just sell it on y'all. No, it was a lot of information as well. So M16 V3, yes, I actually have a diagram that I did for that. Let me see. Where did I put it? Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger for you. So it was this. So inside of here, we are coming from our baptismal pool as our Raspberry Pi 2. That's what's going to send the image to the TV that's in there. That's on the network. Everything is on the network. So in the baptismal area, I'm going to have a camera, my ATEM Mini Pro. That is going to live stream to Raspberry Pi number 1 that is connected directly to an audio extractor that pulls the audio out into the mixer, and then the HDMI out from that Raspberry Pi is going into the ATEM Mini Extreme. The ATEM Mini Extreme is live streaming to Raspberry Pi number 2, which is just connected to the TV that is bringing in all the audio from the sound mixer into the TV over HDMI. So hopefully that makes sense for you. Let me know if you want. Send me an email if you want, and I can send you an email to that as well too, and I'll just send you a copy of that if you want. All right, let's see. Thanks for the advice. If we buy one of the camcorders you mentioned, should we connect it to the laptop via USB-C directly, get a capture card like the or ATEM Mini hybrid service? Go with the ATEM Mini. It will set you up in the future. The HD60 is good, but it's for only one input. If you go with the ATEM Mini, that will set you up for having scripture and lyrics. If you want to do that, you can send it out to the TV, but then you can over HDMI out, but then you still have the USB-C coming in from the ATEM Mini that can feed Zoom. That is I honestly think that would be the best, because the ATEM Mini is the base one is going for $295. The HD60 is going for $150. So for another $150, you get 4 times the inputs. That's what I would honestly think. Yeah, and I'm sorry, I'm getting y'all's chat, but I'm responding after the fact, so I'm not responding to them live. So let me know what aspect of the Unified that you want me to go to. I mean, because I have access, I can pull any of the stuff so you can actually see what's on there as well too. Otis, that is actually the SDI distribution that's at Greater Works. It works well, but it's doing something that I think it's sending a different level or something on the signal, and that's what I noticed. Somebody else sent me a comment about this. That's why I wasn't getting a signal. That was the distribution that was coming in the fellowship hall, and when I put the Black Magic distribution there, it worked on the original converters and the Black Magic converters. So I mean, it works fine. I just had issues with mixing them up as long as I had to change the level for the converters, but they work fine. I haven't had any of them die on me which is a good thing. So I think they're reasonable. Back to G. Albert here. Regarding the SDI scan converter versus the ATEM controller, I'm going to go back to Blackmagic ATEM and work through it. Okay. Awesome. Hope that works for you. Steven, I have SMT AV PTZ camera on our balcony ledge. I noticed at the bottom of it gets hot. Is that normal for a PTZ camera, or should I be concerned and come up with a different mounting to get some airflow? I honestly have not noticed it getting hot at all out of any of them. Now, granted, all of mine are connected to the metal mount, so maybe it's distributing the heat. Actually, I should have been able to feel the heat more on the bottom. No, I've honestly never noticed that, to be quite honest. Now that makes me have to go back and visit and see and check that out. I'll check that out Sunday when I'm at Spring Creek. They have a similar camera as well too. Team RHO, thank you for the endorsement. Yes, he said the eMissionary Conference was definitely worth it. All that stuff is, let me tell y'all the secret. All that information, like I said, you pay $75, you can get that information now. I will post all of that information on YouTube a year from now. So you can wait a year and see it, but by the time you see it, it's going to be outdated information. But it was really awesome. Really, we're going to start planning for the next one for next year, starting in September. So we're going to be, if you're on the Facebook group, we're going to be putting that information out there pretty soon on how to join and be a part of that as well. We're going to have at least 8 months prep before we go at it again. What does it take to go wireless camera, and which system to ear the direction told to which let me see if I can break that down. What I'm assuming what you're saying is what's the best way to use a wireless camera, and what system can be used to communicate with the operator of the camera? That's what I'm assuming I'm getting from what you're saying. There are multiple ways. I mean, you can get just walkie-talkies to talk in between each other. You don't have to spend a lot. And then from a wireless camera, I mean, you just need to have a wireless converter. There are a bunch of ones that I used at my church that cost $150, and then you got professional ones that go all the way up to Hollyland that are like $700. I mean, there are many ways that you can use. But honestly, I mean, even if you wireless, I mean, you can. I think there's a app on the iPhone and Android called Beartooth, and y'all can just, it turns your phone into a walkie-talkie, and y'all can talk that way. So that doesn't, I mean, I think the app is free last time I looked at it. So there's a bunch of stuff that you can use. Sandra, one of our Patreon supporters, thank you. We switched the connection to our 2 TVs from VGA to HDMI, but now the TVs take a long time to come up and sometimes blink out. We used to have a third TV connected with Streamcast, but since so technically challenged, hit enter by mistake since the switch to third TV does not work. Well, what type of HDMI cables are you using, and how long are the cables? Let me know that. Hey Otis, what I'll do for anybody that's in the Facebook group, I will post that image for the Raspberry Pi stuff in the Facebook group. And if y'all are not a part of the Facebook group, email me at questions@ajhomes.com and I will send it to you. Let's see. I think that was something. Why is Facebook just hanging? Page is unavailable right now. Come on, Facebook, what you doing? I'm competing with Sean Cannell. He is live right now doing a Q&A as well. I'm gonna have to post this. Facebook is acting up. It's like the page won't load, so the side won't load to show my groups, so I have to get back, but I will post it there. You said you weren't able to get past that? So, I mean, but you, what session? A couple of sessions had problems that didn't start. But if you, everything has the video there directly. So you should be able to go to it. Let me know if you're still not able to, and we can see if we can work through that. Back to Sandra, what I was going to say is let me know, and actually, let me see if you responded. No, you haven't. What type of cables are you using? Now, so many people recommended these to me. I have tested them out. I like the fiber HDMI cables. They have been working very well with me. And I've gone up to 75 feet and 100 feet with them. I don't know how far away your TVs are. I would say try something like that. Because if they're blinking out like that, it might be it's just the length on that cable is the issue. I would say try one. Just order one fiber HDMI cable, 35 feet, 50 feet, whatever, and try that out and see if you get the performance. If it does, then go ahead and switch those out with those cables. Rabbi wants to know, which is better to use, an ATEM switcher or a custom-built PC? Well, it depends what you're trying to do. A custom-built PC, how many cameras are you going to input? Are you going to use it just for streaming? Do you want it for a specific software? And then from an ATEM switcher, what are you going to use it for? I do a mixture of all of them because it depends on the nature of what I'm going to be doing. If I turn this around and I want to play games, I have that looped into my PlayStation, hooked directly into the ATEM, and I just stream from that because I don't need to do graphics and all this other stuff. I can layer everything the way I want to. Or if I want to be really, really fancy and go to Twitch and have a rolling ticker of who's in the chat and donations and all this other stuff, I'd still capture into my computer and then send that over to OBS or OBS Streamlabs or something like that. It all depends what you want to use it for. I mean, I've used a mixture of both. All right, so what I'll do is I'll put a link to the exact ones I've been using. And like I told y'all, this stuff still said it's out for delivery. I feel like it's not going to be delivered today. That camera. But these are the cables that I have used. Fiber HDMI cables. In about 3 different installs, and I have one myself here, and I'm happy with those. So y'all can check those out. Now, they are in one direction. On the back, it says on the end, one says source, one says display. Don't mix them up, because if you mix them up, you won't be able to see anything. Mom's Video. Have you heard of a company, Tech LED, for TV panels? And if so, are their panels any good? Looking to get one for my church. No, unfortunately, I have not had the advantage of messing with panels like that yet. But let's see. Tech LED. I'm assuming it's Tech LED. Well, it's 2 of them. Tech -LED, and then there's Tech LED Wall. I don't know which one is which. I'm gonna say Tech LED Wall because the other one is just actual LEDs. How about wall, AJ, instead of well? Let's see. Let's see what this is. No, Stephanie, I don't want any help. I'm good. Now, I mean, I'm really excited about doing something like this. That looks sick. That does really look sick. I really want to get something like that. But I'm still trying to convince people about getting projectors. But I don't know. I had to do some research on them. They're based out of Miami, Florida, too. Yeah, I don't know. I have not worked with them, but seems cool. Back to custom built over at ATEM. If you're using 3 PTZs for live streaming, the easiest way I would think is the ATEM. because when you try to get a custom built system with a 4-input capture card, you're going to be, that system by itself is probably going to cost about as much as the ATEM and those 3 cameras combined. That's just me personally. All right, let's go back to this question. I think it was cleared up here. What they're trying to say is, I'm trying to get a Blackmagic product and a Behringer personal monitor system, the P16, to work together. Is that possible? Not directly. The P16 is a personal mixer monitor for your musicians, which normally has to be connected to an X32 or some type of digital board that supports that. And depending on what Blackmagic product that you're using, I mean, yeah, you can do an XLR out, RCA out, a 1/4 inch out that goes to a 3.5 millimeter if you're using the ATEM mini line. If you're using the ATEM television studio, that has an XLR input. There are many ways to combine that. But what's happening on the P16 is not necessarily the exact same thing that's going to the ATEM, but can they work together? Yes, I'm actually installing something similar to this in Detroit or Ohio in November. But yeah, that is possible, but not necessarily in the way it seems that you're describing. But yes, those 2 devices can work together. Well, thank you. I'm glad you've learned a lot from here. Justin Holloway. I'm having problems with my audio when live streaming. I have an audio cable running from my soundboard to my computer, and I am getting a hum sound from my audio. What is the problem? It is most likely, well, first off, are you connected to the mic in or the line in? If you're connected into the mic, normally it's color coded. Red is the mic, blue is green. I mean, blue is green. Blue is your line in. So what you could do is, let me get all of my stuff out of the way here. Didn't realize how much stuff I had open. So if you're in Windows, and thankfully I do have a Mac, so we can cut over and show that as well too. So if we're over here, what we want to do is in our sound, we want to go to our sound control panel. And of course it opens on the wrong screen. And we're going to go to our recording. So right now we have, say you're using your line in, and that's not the right line in. Say we use a microphone. We're going to come here and go to properties, and your mic, and I need something to actually be plugged in for this to work. Let me see if I can plug this. Oh, I got this mic right here. Let's do this. Let's see if that works for me. All right, so yeah, so now I have a mic here. We're gonna come here to properties, and if you're plugged into the mic jack, that means and you're getting a hum. It's most likely because the mic jack is, what you have plugged into it is too hot. So that means you come in here, go to levels, you want to pull this down because you're hearing the static noise, the ground noise of your input. That would try that at first. If you're in your line connection, it might be the exact same thing. Again, I don't have nothing plugged into the line, but you would have a levels and you want to bring that down if you're getting a lot of noise. That's normally what that is if you're getting that type of noise issue. So hopefully that helps. And just like MA16V3 is saying, multiple active capture cards are going to hit your CPU and GPU hard. That's why I was saying if you went with a custom PC, you would need to have a beast of a GPU, which is going to be super, super overpriced right now because of crypto mining. Your CPU, you may be able to get, but I mean, you're going to get hit really hard. Yeah, like you said, thank you. That's kind of like my same thought with that. Hanak, sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Hi AJ, would NVIDIA 1650 graphics card laptop run 1080p using NVENC on OBS smoothly? Yes, because that's what I use when we are live streaming sports, and it works very well. Chris Means wants to know, what type of mic would you recommend for picking up crowd during worship? Some type of shotgun mic would work well. Like I have this Rode mic that I use when I need to pick up. Well, I pick up crowd noise at a football game with this, and that works well. So if it picks that up, I mean, I think it'll pick up a congregation well. But there are other professional, more shotguns like this. Rode makes a couple of them. Looks like a cylinder shotgun mic, a little small one. Those will work as well too. Back to Indy. Do I know of any, speaking of the P16, is there anything easier and user-friendly than that? Honestly, I've only messed with that one and the Roland ones, and the P16s are a breeze compared to the Roland ones, so I don't know. Does anybody else have any other type of personal mixers that you're using for your musicians? Any suggestions would be very helpful. Back to Otis. We just installed an X32, a S32, and 3 P16s. We set up a mix just for the streaming PC and a mix for our P16s to the musicians. Awesome. This is the reason why I really need to buy, we really need to buy an X32, maybe a compact, so I have it here so I can go through this stuff. Because, I mean, it's not a lot of tutorials out there. And even though tutorials are out there, they don't go as simple as it needs to be, because even some of them I've had to watch over and over and over again at half speed to try and catch up with what they're saying. So we'll see. I don't really want to buy one right now because I don't have the space for them, but we'll see. Do I have any experience with? No, I do not. I do not. Sounds like you're good with the Rode M5 MP. I think that's the model. Let me look that up to make sure I'm not misspeaking. M5 MP. Actually, these are the exact ones that Spring Creek has, that they didn't even realize when they were asking the same question. So they actually have these in a box, but weren't aware of them. And I think they will work well. Now, granted, I know their layout, and based off of what it was going to be done for, I think this would be good. But I've seen other type of shotgun mics that could be used in something similar. Because I'm actually looking at getting a shotgun mic. I got to do I got to live stream a dedication somewhere. And I'm going to be out, like, outside somewhere. So maybe something like that. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, unless you want to throw down 1,200 on the Sennheiser, but I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, the low hum, honestly, is because I have a fan on right up under me. That's what you're hearing from. And the way this mic is set up with the Rodecaster, it doesn't engage until I start talking. So you start hearing that. So, like, if I move this out of the way, you might not hear it here. Let's see. Next question. Is there any device I can connect to my camcorder to make it wireless? Yes. This is what I am waiting to hear back from Hollyland. It is the Mars 400S. And you would connect this. Now, granted, yes, it is a little pricey, but it would turn, it gives you HDMI in. You click this onto the cold shoe on your camera, plug the HDMI into this, And then it'll send it out, put this on the other end, plug it HDMI out to whatever, and there, you just made it wireless. I was actually looking at getting something like that for to have a camcorder on the field when we go back to doing football games and stuff like that. That's what I've seen. I've heard the reviews are very good, and they're tiny. That's what I like. I don't need something humongous out of the way. For me, I don't know the official length, but I know I've ran at least 200 feet. That's how far I've ran one, and it's worked fine for me. But again, I don't know the official distance and length for that. Back to Justin. What can I do to get audio from my PTZ camera? I plugged my audio cable into the camera and my computer, but no sound. Do I need to configure it or what? Which camera did you got? If you're using some of these PTZs, the SMT, AV, the AV cans, and all this other stuff like that, even the PTZ optics, you have to go into the settings, the web interface of the camera, and turn sound on. So that would probably be what you need to do for that. Back to Steven. I know the budget affects how big, but what is a good starting way to store all of your live stream? What size terabyte? And should the hard drive be internal, external? We have 1 terabyte SSD and 1 terabyte NVMe. Honestly, I don't even store that stuff on my computer. Like the way I do stuff here, and let me show you as much as I possibly can on my system here, and I'm going to show you how I sort all of my stuff here. Here we go. So here is my drives here. These are obviously all of my local ones. I have 512 for local storage for my operating system. I have a old 2 terabyte mechanical drive here. That's honestly for just games and stuff that I really don't use as much. Then I have this 1 terabyte, which is a kind of a fast kind of storage, NVMe, for me storing data. And then I have this other, which is nothing but a cache drive that I use for rendering for my Adobe stuff, DaVinci Resolve, everything to make stuff runs faster. So like when I do my videos, I have a current projects folder. I drop all my files in here. So these are kind of the videos that I did from Greater Faith and all the stuff I have here. I copy all that onto this drive, and once I'm done, I move it over to this move folder. And then what I do is I have a Synology. I have 2 of them, NAS external storages that has 10 terabytes of storage space on it. So if I go here, and even though it's right behind me, make sure I have the right one because I got 2 of them. One is for personal, one's for business. All right, yeah, this is one. So this one I have 6.5 terabytes in one partition. Then I have another 2 terabytes in another one. So I have this is storing. I just have a massive media repository that I dump all that stuff to. So I keep 2 years in here. And that's everything. That's drone footage, camera footage, phone footage, everything like that. And I put everything off like that. That's the same thing I do at my church. Everything has an external NAS that's available through a network that any computer in the network can get to. All of my computers here have access to the same thing so that I can just drop storage. I only have stuff that I keep on my computer on projects I'm working on. Once that's done, I offload it. I only keep that stuff for 2 years. After 2 years, I purge all of the ISO footage and only keep the rendered product. But most of the time, I don't even do that unless it's something I really want to use. I use YouTube's storage to keep that stuff. And if it's something I really, really, really need to keep, I roll it over to Vimeo because that's I have 7 terabytes of storage there that I store there, and that's mainly for client projects or something like that. So that was a whole lot more info, but I was sitting back thinking before I got started, I want to do a video of everything that I use to run my business, from hardware, software, because like I just said, I just bought hired bench to handle my books. I'm going from QuickBooks to FreshBooks. I mean, it's so much stuff. And I got your question, John. Let me, while I'm here, I really don't remember the model off the top of my head. The model that was just looking at was this was the DS418. That's what y'all were just looking at. That is a 4-bay drive. And most of y'all know my real name is Arthur. So everything here on my servers are named off of something similar to King Arthur. So I have Avalon and I have Excalibur, the round table that we do on Facebook. That's where all that stuff comes from. So if you wanted to know. Let me log into the other one so I can get the model for that. The other one is the first one I got, which was $170. And I like the NASs because you can always put your own drives in there. When you run out of space, you can always put something bigger in there if you need. All right, and then the second one is just for personal stuff. This is for files, videos, music, stuff like that. It's only 2 terabytes in this one. This is the DS216J. That's what I have. Those are the 2 models that I have. I really want to upgrade to the newer one that has a Ryzen chip in it that has 6 bays in it, so I can consolidate. But I might actually do that. Actually, I think I will. Anyway, that's enough blabbing. Jose, do you have a preferred audio program for audio editing on a PC for live streaming? Honestly, the audio editing that I use is, I haven't used it that much because it comes with the package I'm paying for monthly, Adobe Audition. But honestly, all the audio editing that I do, I actually do it in DaVinci Resolve. If I really need to do something serious, I still have Acid it was with Sony Vegas. That was a whole suite that I had. And they've sold that brand off, but I still have access to it. That's where I do my editing. But most of my stuff, I do it in DaVinci Resolve. A video on the X32, S16, and P16 would be fantastic. Well, guess what? I did do one on the X32 and the X16 for Fifth Street Baptist Church, but that's everything that you mentioned is exactly what we're going to be installing in a church in Detroit. So that's not till November, but we will go through that. They wanted everything to be shipped to that church, so I don't have it here. So most of the stuff I'm going to have to figure out and do on site. So I will bring y'all along with me for that. Rabbi wants to know, what's the best RG6 SDI crimper for terminating SDI cables? Honestly, I've been sticking with the, what is the brand name? I've gone through a whole bunch of ones that are here on Amazon, as well as ones that I have at Lowe's. But this is the brand that has worked best for me in ease of termination, as well as reliable connections. And that has been this Clean Tools one. That's the connectors, which very pricey, but this is cheaper than buying the individual ones. At Lowe's, 4 of these is $10. So you get a bunch of them. That price is going to jump up really fast. So I normally order these every other week so I can keep my stuff in stock. And then the crimper that I use is also by them as well too. Where is it? Because it's not that one. Because I can tell you the exact same one that I use. I use that for terminating my Ethernet cables. Where is it at? I'm not seeing it. I'm gonna have to. Let me go back through my history here, so that way I can find exactly the one that I'm using. But it is by them as well too. I must have bought it from Lowe's or something. Yeah, I must have got it from Lowe's because it's not in my Amazon history. And the only reason I'm looking for that one is because depending on the termination crimps that you use, like I used to have this other one that I used a lot that works great, but it put too much force on those compression and bent it. So when I went with this crimper by the same people who made the connections, it worked great without any issues. Yeah, I don't know where this thing is now. I don't know. I can't. I don't know where it is, but I know it's by the same people, and I don't know why it's not showing up on there. Let's jump over here back to Hanuk here. Thanks, AJ. Here's my live church equipment. OBS running on an Apple Intel DCI5, NBA 2015, iPhone 7 running NDI app as a cam source. I hardly can stream at 720p with a lot of drops. That would mainly, well, two things. I would think mainly that's because of the Apple, and that's also because of the processor. That Intel is probably 2 to 4 cores, and is taxing the system out, to be quite honest. And then some of the Apple products really don't have a good GPU that you can offload all of the rendering and encoding to. I think that would be the main issue with that. Even if you're not a fan, not even a PC, you can actually, I did a video a long time ago, and I guess I need to do an updated one. I built a system with the same parts, but just put Linux on it and just had it just running OBS, and that would give you a lot more performance because you get a Ryzen 5 1600, which is what I normally build in the systems that I do. That processor is 6 cores, and I feel like it's something in my nose, sorry, is 6 cores, 12 threads. You can throw 8 gigs of memory on that system. That processor is $150. Throw a 256 gigabyte hard drive on it, and then get like a NVIDIA GT 710 or any type of graphics card just to give you a display, and it will probably run rings around the settings that you got right now, and you'll be able to do 1080p at 60 without, not even hitting 20% CPU utilization. And you can do that in Windows or do it in Linux. That's what I would honestly think. Let me drop these last 2 questions. Well, actually, this last question, and we're going to be up and out of here. Brenda. Hey, AJ, my church does not have any hard wiring. I'm using an iPad and mirroring on the Samsung TV for Claim. Live stream on a second iPad for Facebook Live. Can NDI work for 2 TVs, 75-inch? I would think it would. Playing around with I think the Raspberry Pis, the newer ones, can actually work with NDI 5. That would allow you to have that little box on the back of the TV, and you can do it that way. I'm not 100% sure, but yes, NDI can work on those as long as you have something to support it. Even if you're sending one and then split it out and then connect it to the 2, it should be able to work. So, I think that's it, folks. Yeah, I think that's I've reached my limit today. Before we finish out, I want to thank the patrons who made this possible. And I'm gonna be honest, there's a lot of patrons who, I thank them, and they've discontinued their patronage monthly, and I'm gonna keep them still on here because I wouldn't have been able to be where I'm at without their support. So their names are still there, and I thank them for that because, hey, they're helping support this ministry. And it took me a long time to call us a ministry, but it is. And I hope it helps y'all in some way, shape, or form. I really appreciate it. And I more thank the patrons who are able to do that. And you too can be a patron if you want to by going to patreon.com/AJaytheCEO. We have levels as low as $1 all the way up to $30. And at $30 a month, you have a 1 hour free consultation with me, and we can talk about anything every month, as long as you maintain the patronage. So I really appreciate that. You can also become a YouTube member, and we try to have some features for both. And again, I've been busy, so I'm sorry about that. We're trying to look at doing some more stuff. What we do have, when you're a patron, and I still haven't been able to figure it out with YouTube, but we give access to all of our roundtables. If you're not able to join, you can always watch that after the fact, if you're not a part of the Facebook group. But it's just a way that I can give back, as well as members, YouTube members, and Patreon folks get entered into our giveaways twice, which made me almost forget that we are, we may have gone over. I don't think we have. But we are a couple of people away from 42,000 subscribers. But at 50,000 subscribers, PTZ Optics is giving me a PTZ camera to give away to somebody. And I'm sweetening the deal because that was only a one prize. We're going to have a runner-up I'm going to chip in and give them an ATEM Mini Extreme. You just got to go to grow.ajhomes.com/50K giveaway. You only got to enter once. Hey, but the more people you have entered, you have more of a chance for your ministry to win. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to be having a live stream, do the giveaway. I used to do a giveaway every time we hit another level, but we've been so busy, I haven't had a chance to do that. But we are giving away a bunch of stuff. We got a YOLO box that we're going to be giving away pretty soon after I do the review of that. The Lark 150, I think we agreed that we were going to give that away. We got an ATEM Mini Extreme that we talked about, and we got a lot of other stuff. We're going to do something real big at 100,000 subscribers as well too. So just a way for me to keep giving back and to help y'all, because I really appreciate the fact that a lot of y'all have been holding down your local ministry by learning and constantly growing in a field that a lot of us did not even start out with. So I hope this makes your journey a lot easier, and I just want to help as much as I possibly can. So, but by me saying that, do not blow my email up asking me to make you jump the line to bless your ministry because we're a small ministry out of here, there, whatever. Please don't say that. That's the quickest way for me to delete your name from anything. But anyway, thank y'all so much for being here with me. Really appreciate it. If nobody told you, thank you for what you're doing. Really appreciate it, because I know media ministry is normally the one group that we don't get that much appreciation until the only time we get a lot of attention is when the mics are not working. So thank y'all so much for what you're doing. Y'all have a good day, evening, night, afternoon, wherever you're at throughout the entire world, and we will see y'all in the next video. Later, folks.